Paul Joy here. Yeah, let me share with you 5 ways. Let me show you 5 ways you can make money this quarter. 5 ways you can close more transactions this quarter. Number one, 2-to-1 buy down. A lot of realtors don't know what's a 2-to-1 buy down. Did you know that you can close more transactions if you did a 2-to-1 buy down? What does that mean? Okay, you know that you can ask the seller to give you closing costs, right? Give your buyer closing costs. So that's one way, right? But the closing costs can cover the rate buy down. Even after buying down the rate, let's say the rates are now 7%, right? And you can buy down the rate, let's say to 6.5%. On top of that, the seller can still give the buyer credit, which the buyer is going to cover. Let's say now the rate is 6.5%, right? The first year, the buyer only pays 4.5%. The second year, the buyer pays 5.5%. So therefore, the money, that delta comes from who? From the seller. The credit that the seller gave will be put in escrow. And as a buyer makes payments, right, to the lender, the money from escrow will cover that difference. Imagine that. That's one way. Number two, there's what they call step up. The step up is a bit different than the 2-to-1 buy down. But it's also going to help your buyer pay less money than what they qualify for. Okay. In this case, the delta is going to be added onto the principal. The delta is going to be added onto the principal. The first case, there is no delta at all because the seller pays a delta. In this case, the delta is added to the principal. And in the first case, the seller pays. In the second case, the buyer doesn't pay. The buyer actually pays less, but there's a delta added to the principal. The buyer can refinance this property anytime. Let's talk about the next one. Okay, HELOCs. HELOCs, they're becoming very, very prevalent right now. Okay, so that's another way that you can do close more transactions. How does a seller or your owner, how do you benefit when your owner, you as a realtor, how do you benefit when your client does a HELOC? Of course, your client can go buy another property somewhere else, right? Especially now in this market, because there are not many offers anymore, your buyer can go buy other properties, can buy properties elsewhere, can buy foreclosures elsewhere, can buy normal properties elsewhere because realtors are dropping prices. So now the buyer can go and get a bargain and they use the equity from the property. They don't need we don't need the full docs, right? They can qualify to buy those properties by putting only 15% down. It's called debt service coverage ratio. Can you imagine that? That's another way that you can generate more money this time around. Okay, now the next one is ADU. Okay, ADU, accessory dwelling unit. How can you make money through this new law that's been passed, what's called SB9? Of course, it gives you the opportunity to go and talk to your owners, right? So most realtors don't keep in touch with their clients, but this will give you an opportunity to talk to your owners. Maybe some of your investor owners, right? Those investors that bought properties a long time ago and they were banking on cash flow, banking on appreciation. Okay, the properties have appreciated in value. Now they can put an ADU there. So they get a HELOC that I talked about previously, and they can put an ADU there. Actually, they can put up to 4 units on that lot. And this is another opportunity. You can talk to them to buy more properties like this. Understand? Using what we call debt service coverage ratio, just the rental income from those properties they're going to buy. Now, are you getting this? And the last one I'm going to talk about today is the interest rates will drop. Do you know that interest rates will drop? Right now, the interest rates are pretty high, but not that high. They're only in the sevens, right? but they are going to drop. This is a great time for people to buy properties, right? Especially first-time home buyers, and they can use our down payment assistance program, right? Up to 10% down payment assistance given to them that can be forgiven. Can you imagine this? This is a great time, okay? The interest rates will drop. They might be at 7%. They might be at 6%, but they're going to come down, right? And imagine now you can work with somebody who's a first-time home buyer, could not buy before. Now they can buy. They can buy. Can you imagine that? They can buy now. How amazing is that? How amazing is that? This is Paul John. If you have any questions about any of these things I've shared with you, please don't hesitate to contact me at 415-510-0127, 415-510-0127. I'm the realtor's best friend in the mortgage industry because I know real estate like the back of my hand. I am fully committed to your success. Thank you so much.